Hello, fabulous Pisces. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of October 2014, Love Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. This month, where it comes to love, what we have happening is, for most of the month, we have the ruling planet of your opposite sign, which is Mercury, going backwards, okay, appearing to go retrograde in the part of the sky that has to do with, it really has to do with being honest with yourself. It has to do with real intimacy, emotional and otherwise. And also the physical connection that we can feel to another person and how that contributes to the emotional. And when I looked at the sky, Mercury retrograde itself is about being honest with yourself. It's about going over a thing again, fine-tuning, looking more deeply, looking more reflectively. That's what Mercury retrograde is about. And to have that be the ruling planet of your opposite sign and have it be retrograde in a part of the sky that has to do with emotional honesty speaks to me of you getting clarity and speaks to me of you getting a much deeper understanding into where you are right now in love and how you actually feel about where it is that you actually are. Now, I do want to say sort of right off the bat that there's also an element here that has to do with sharing, that has to do with money as well. And so sometimes money is a symbol, okay? It ends up being a reflection of what's happening, the dynamic between two people, what's actually going on there. In terms of how open the two people are to sharing resources, of being available to each other, of trust. Sometimes, okay? Not always. I know that every relationship is sort of, it's got its own dynamics, and how money fits into that dynamic is unique to any given situation. Having said that, though, it does look like that is also going to be part of the consideration for you. So if you are in an established bond, this sky does suggest a time when you get to look at exactly how much it is that you are receiving, not just what you're giving, but also what it is that you're receiving. And if you feel that there is a balance there, where you feel that there is not, you're going to get more honest with yourself. Where you feel that your partner's been taking a lot more than you feel that you're getting, you're going to get honest with yourself about that as well. And I think that there's also an element here of you looking at how safe you actually feel. Do you feel safe in your deepest emotions in terms of your real vulnerabilities? Do you feel that this person would hold them and honor them and acknowledge them in a way that facilitates your spiritual growth in a healthy way? And if you do feel that, then that's going to be something that you appreciate now, that you get to see reflected in your partner, and you get to say to yourself, wow, I actually do and am with somebody really amazing. But where it is that you don't feel that, you're going to be honest with yourself as well as you decide what way it is that you want to move forward. Those of you who sort of have somebody in your sphere right now, maybe you're dating somebody, I got to say, I looked at the sky. I'm going to be really honest with you. I looked at the sky, and I also looked at the fact that you are going to have Venus in the same part of the sky for much of the month, and that Venus is going to be doing some adventurous things, speaking with Pluto, speaking with Uranus as well in the first part of the month. And, I got to say, like in the first 3 of the months, Venus is there, in Mercury's there, retrograde. Venus leaves just as Mercury goes direct. And I'm just going to put this out there. I do think that there might be a small percentage of people out there who maybe might be with somebody, you might be dating somebody, and you might think of it as, I'm dating this person, but in actuality, it might, again, I got to just say this. I got to be honest about this. I'm always going to be honest with you, right? Always. I'll find great words, but I'll always be honest. And, that is the fact that I think about this idea of intimacy, and I think about how sometimes physical intimacy can take the place of emotional intimacy, and how what we might really want and what we might really be needing on a level of spirit is the emotional intimacy. However, we substitute the physical. And sometimes we do it to the point where we tell ourselves that we're getting the emotional when actually it is the physical. And I do think that this is the type of consideration that might be there for some people out there who might be dating somebody or just getting to know somebody, or might be single. And this might be an experience that you end up welcoming right around this time. And so what this ultimately has to do with, again, is being honest with yourself. And if you've said that you don't want a relationship, and you really just want somebody that you can see once in a while, then that might be a situation that you're in, but then you might have mixed feelings about that, or you might feel on some level that actually, no, this actually has a lot more complexity, and that's something that you come to realize, whether it's for you or for that other person. Where it is that the opposite might also be true as well, where you might have started off thinking of this person as somebody that you really would want to get to know. Now you kind of realize that, you know what, I don't really feel a connection to this person beyond something more basic. And that is an important point of honesty for you as well. But regardless of where it is that you find yourself now, it does look like the lesson in love and how it is that sharing can be healthy, and where sharing sometimes happens a little bit too soon. You know, I have shared before in these, I have said before, as I look at the sky in the monthly horoscopes and the weekly horoscopes as well, the person that you're dating is not your therapist, right? They're not your therapist. And so there is a need. Sometimes the sky does suggest that we might share too much too soon. And that's also going to be part of the lesson, whether it's you sharing too much or the other person. And this gives you the chance to have a kind of honest evaluation of where you are in love, how you feel about it, if you like where you stand, and how you can then move yourself forward towards something that more accurately fits what it is that you want. And you are learning more about what it is that you want, and that really is okay. And other people might be a part of that exploration, and that really is okay as well. Those of you in an established bond are going to find this a time when more is revealed, and you might surprise yourself by what does come forward. I think about the Freudian slip as well. You might surprise yourself at what you end up sharing and how that speaks to what's really going on with you, and how that actually brings you towards this other person. And there are some of you out there as well, if you have somebody in your sphere or not, if you're open to meeting somebody new, where you get to understand where that line is, where substitutions have been happening between experiencing a sense of genuine intimacy and genuine acceptance for something that might be a little bit superficial, which might have worked very well on one level at one time, but just given the sky at this particular moment might not be exactly what it is that you're going for just right now. And it's okay to acknowledge that also. It's okay to evolve and understand love differently and understand partnership differently as well. And you certainly are learning, and you certainly are growing in a direction towards a greater love than you've known before.